The city was alive, but Ethan felt dead inside. Every morning his alarm screamed at him, emails stormed his phone, and the constant chatter of the world demanded his attention. He wasn't living, he was scrolling. He thought being busy meant being important, and he told himself that constant noise meant progress. But when the screens dimmed and the laughter of late-night parties faded, he felt a silence so deep it frightened him. A silence he had been running from. One night, as he laughed at a meaningless video, a call came in. His grandmother's name lit up the screen. He loved her, but at that moment, he was too busy. He pressed decline. "I'll call her tomorrow," he told himself. Tomorrow, he thought, would always be there. But the next morning, he woke to news that shattered him. His grandmother had been hospitalized. The guilt was unbearable. The call he ignored was the one that truly mattered. Without hesitation, Ethan packed a bag and boarded a train to the countryside where she lived. As the train pulled away from the city, the world outside began to change. The concrete jungle gave way to open fields. The glowing billboards faded into distant hills, and the endless hum of traffic turned into the quiet rhythm of wheels. Against the tracks, Ethan glanced around the carriage. People sat in silence, some reading, some simply watching the passing scenery. He realized he hadn't sat in stillness like this for years. It felt unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. When he stepped off the train, the silence of the countryside almost startled him. There were no car horns, no notifications buzzing from every pocket, no neon lights calling for his attention. Only the sound of birds, the whisper of the wind, and the distant laughter of children playing. Ethan felt restless. His hands kept reaching for his phone, scrolling through feeds that suddenly seemed pointless. When he reached his grandmother's house, she was lying in bed, weak but smiling. Her face lit up the moment she saw him. She reached for his hand with fragile fingers and whispered, "You've been chasing echoes, Ethan, but life's music is in the quiet moments you're running from." Her words lingered in his heart. That night, unable to sleep, Ethan sat outside beneath a sky filled with stars. He couldn't remember ever noticing back in the city. The silence pressed against him, and at first he wanted to run from it. But slowly he began to notice the rhythm in it, the chorus of crickets, the rustle of leaves, the steady beating of his own heart. In the days that followed, Ethan explored the village. That's when he noticed a boy who often sat alone by the riverbank. Day after day, the boy would sit there quietly, staring at the water. One afternoon, curiosity got the better of him. Ethan approached and asked, "What are you looking for?" The boy, Liam, looked up with eyes far older than his years. "Nothing," he said softly. "I just listen." Over time, Ethan learned that Liam had lost his father in an accident the year before. Instead of drowning himself in distractions, Liam had found a strange kind of peace in silence. The river became his companion. It carried his grief but also his strength. That realization shook Ethan to his core. Here was a child, carrying pain heavier than Ethan had ever known, yet choosing silence instead of noise. Ethan, who had everything, a job, money, friends, was terrified of being alone with his own thoughts. One evening, a blackout swept across the entire village. No lights, no television, no internet. At first, Ethan felt trapped, cut off from the world. But then he stepped outside and saw something he hadn't seen in years. Neighbors gathering under the stars, children chasing fireflies, families sitting together and talking by candlelight. Ethan sat with his grandmother and Liam, the three of them wrapped in the warm glow of lanterns. It was in that moment that Ethan truly listened, to his grandmother's gentle laughter, to Liam's quiet questions about the stars, to his own heartbeat slowing, finally at peace. He realized the silence wasn't empty at all. It was full of connection, full of truth, full of life. The next morning, Ethan decided to help Liam build something his father had once promised him, a small wooden boat. At first, Ethan thought it would be a quick project, but he soon realized it required patience, focus, and quiet. Together, they gathered wood, sanded it smooth, tied knots, and painted the boat. Hours passed without a single notification. Days turned into weeks. When the boat was finally ready, Ethan and Liam carried it to the river. With careful hands, they placed it in the water and watched as it floated gently downstream. Liam's eyes filled with tears, but for the first time, they were not only tears of grief, they were also of pride and peace. He smiled, a smile that lit up Ethan's heart. And in that smile, Ethan understood. This connection, kindness, presence was what life was meant to be, not the endless chase for more noise, not the constant rush that leaves no space for breath. When Ethan returned to the city, nothing outside had changed. The horns still blared, screens still glowed, and people still rushed as if racing against time. But something inside Ethan had shifted. He deleted half the apps from his phone, made time for silent walks each evening, and most importantly, he called his grandmother every night just to hear her voice. The noise was still around him, but it no longer lived inside him. He had discovered a truth he wished he had known earlier. Silence is not empty. Silence is full of answers. So stop filling your life with noise, because sometimes the quietest moments are the ones that matter most.